I always say to people, you get paid last in property. As a developer, you're always the last to get paid, but it's always a pretty penny.
I think everyone has the ability to be an entrepreneur, but not everyone can be an entrepreneur.
You can't pour from an empty glass. Like, you need to also be going out, expose yourself to new things so that you can help more people and teach more people things and add value to yourself so that you can add value to others more effectively.
What is Ethan doing really well that's making him a good entrepreneur?
One thing I am doing really well is probably...
Yeah, now you know about the studio. Would you use something like this?
For myself?
Yeah, for your... Because obviously...
Yes, I would. I think I would.
But I mean, your content is more when you're actually at the property. You don't really do
sit
down.
I don't really do sit downs, but I would like to. In a different... I don't know. I would like to do this. I think podcast is like the biggest cheap way to network and open up your phone book and explore and build connections with people that you wouldn't usually on a day-to-day basis.
Have you thought about starting a pod?
Sorry.
That was good.
Yes, I have. I actually had an idea one time and I wanted to start like a car pod. You know when you have like carpool?
Yeah, like James Corden type. Yeah.
And then I actually wanted to do that at one point, but with like luxury cars.
Okay.
And try to get sponsorships. Funny enough, I actually did send out a few emails, didn't get nothing back, and then the idea just went to bed type of thing.
Well, but you don't see that.
Yeah.
Our usual podcasters are set up like this.
Yeah, and I wanted to integrate cars into it because I do like cars.
Yeah.
And I did try and figure out a way to do it, but then maybe something I will do in the future. I would love to do it because, as I said, get to connect with so many different people that you wouldn't on a normal day to day.
Yeah.
And you're adding value to them because everyone wants a platform to showcase either their skills, expertise, knowledge, and share value. So I believe podcast is a form of value to other people.
No, that's the whole reason why I set this one up.
Yeah.
Get people on, not necessarily talk about what they do, but talk about the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That no one really sees.
Yeah.
As I said, this is not a property podcast.
Yeah.
But I do like to let people know what you're into.
Yeah.
Because you're a property developer.
Yeah.
So within the property space, what do you kind of dabble into?
So my main business model is property development, where I buy dilapidated properties, I convert them, reconfigure to force the appreciation of them, and then I go on to sell them as family units, or I refinance them as HMOs and keep them within my portfolio.
And how many have you got at the moment?
So it's always changing at the moment. At the moment, I've got three. At the moment, I've got 3. And yes, it's always changing because I'm like in the middle of a sale. So you could say it's 4, but then it's about to go through.
Yeah.
So it's always chopping and changing.
And I haven't watched it, but you were on Channel 4, right?
Yes.
So what was that program about?
So the whole Channel 4 documentary was essentially highlighting how social media has allowed the new generation to basically accelerate their growth within the property industry. I think it was mainly... they reached out to me in November 2023, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was one of the producers who had come across my content, and we had a conversation, and she was super excited about it, and she'd never heard about what we was doing, like being on social media. What's your purpose? And I was basically explaining to her how I'm using social media to showcase what I'm doing, document it, to raising finance from investors, using investor capital to develop property and offering them fixed returns. And that was like mind-blowing for her. And then essentially she pitched the idea to Channel 4. They loved the idea. And then they came back, and then shortly after, she gave me a call, said, it's been commissioned, and we just started recording straight away. So that was a really good time.
And do you get paid? Would you have got paid for that?
No, so because it's a documentary.
Oh,
so
you don't get paid for documentaries?
Yeah, so the whole thing, funny enough, I did ask about it to see if I could get some small change.
Yeah, definitely.
for being on TV. However, they were saying how if they was to pay us, it would take away the authenticity of the actual documentary.
Okay.
There's like a conflict of interest if he was getting paid because they could steer the narrative in a way because they're paying us to do so. And so they didn't want to do that, so it was unpaid. But I was happy. I think it did a lot for me.
Yeah. Has it brought a lot of traction?
Yes. Not necessarily crazy attraction, but it's the credibility. Being on Channel 4, the amount of checks that they did on me prior to even releasing the episode was quite vigorous anyway. So they needed to make sure I had no disputes, make sure my company's house was updated. They were fact checking the properties that I was looking to purchase, the ones that I said I had in my portfolio. So going through that whole process and then people seeing you being associated with Channel 4 definitely helped when talking to investors in the futures or investors that were looking from a distance, seeing Channel 4 and now they're coming close and say, all right, let's have a conversation.
It's an anecdote, right? Like you can use that in your favor.
Exactly.
If you could describe your journey at any point in 3 words, what would it be? What would those 3 words be?
Tumultuous.
Tumultuous?
Yeah.
I have never heard of that term before.
Tumultuous. Overwhelming.
Okay.
Rewarding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start off with the first one.
Tumultuous. It's been a very rocky road. You go through so many highs and so many lows, a mixture of emotions, hurdles after hurdles, challenges, things that, and I'm someone that mitigates a lot of my risks, but then there's always something that gets in your way, isn't there? And you always feel like you're being picked on sometimes. Things just never go smooth. Let's just put it like that in property. That's why I say it's been tumultuous. Like it's been a rocky road. Super happy about it because I've learned so much over the last 3.5 years. So that's why I'd say that. Overwhelming.
Yeah.
I think I find myself in times when I'm constantly thinking about property. I'm constantly thinking about builders, invoices, solicitors, stakeholders, and investors. I'm constantly thinking about how can I manage everyone's expectations? How do I keep my builders working at 100 miles per hour? How do I keep my solicitor in communication, talking to me and making sure the cases are moving forward? How do I then communicate to my broker the importance of this and hence why they need to move faster, get terms sent across? How do I communicate to the vendor or that I'm purchasing the property off that give me time, I'm waiting for this? And then how do I communicate that all to my stakeholders, my investors, who may not necessarily be familiar with the process and may not be familiar with the challenges that you can face in property? And where we've got an agreement, I need to always keep them in the loop and basically go back and say, hey, this is happening. This could potentially cause a delay. This has come up. This is what's going on. We're at this stage of the build. Material has been delayed. Architects messed up on this, meaning that this needs to be redrawn. Structural engineer has done this. This needs to be recalculated. All of that stuff. And then on top of that, how do you go on to be a good, let's say, friend and a family member and a son and things like that? Like, you're always trying to do loads of different things. My mum will call me and I'll look at the phone sometimes and not pick up because I'm just not in the mental headspace to sit down and have a conversation because I'm trying to balance a million things.
Would you say that comes down, do you have anyone that works for you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So I wouldn't necessarily. Well, I'm guessing you're going to say like outsourcing a lot.
Yeah, like coming down to like delegation.
Yeah, I think I could delegate certain things, but maybe I'm not in the position. I wasn't in the position to yet. Hence why I was saying it was overwhelming. Not necessarily as overwhelming as it was back then, but it can be. And yeah, it does come down to delegation. But what was my last word again? My last word, rewarding.
Rewarding.
Yes, it's been a very rewarding process. Been able to meet a lot of people, been in rooms, wouldn't expect myself to be. I've been in, and it gives you a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and a lot of time to reflect that I don't think I would get in other things. And yeah, it is. You always, I always say to people, you get paid last in property. As a developer, you're always the last to get paid, but it's always a pretty penny, basically.
Would you say that's why you stay in property?
Yes, because I know what I started. I know what the goal was. I'm someone that wants to achieve my goal, and then look to do something else.
Yeah.
Basically.
We'll dabble into that, but I want to take a step back. 16-year-old Ethan.
Yeah.
What was he involved in? Did he think that he would be in the position that he is today? Where was he heading? Was he going down the route of studying and becoming a doctor or a lawyer?
Yeah.
Where was he?
16-year-old Ethan I would have been in year 11. So.
Because you're how old?
26 now. That
26.
was 10 years ago.
Decade ago, man.
That's crazy to
Time
think.
flies.
16-year-old Ethan, very ambitious, was a hustler. Like, as any entrepreneur in today's age, sold everything, bought and sold everything. But I think I stretched it where, when I talk about bought and sold anything, buying and selling sweets to like bracelets, phone cases, Shambalas, the lot, right? Throwback to then progressing into starting my own tuition business. So I had my own tuition business in sixth form, which was quite cool, where I'd outsource some of the work I was coming in to some of my friends, taking a commission in from that. So I started my own tuition. I was very academic, and I wanted to do, I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be fair. I wanted to be a dentist at one point.
Okay.
Really wanted to be a dentist, then quickly realized that maybe I'm not passionate enough for this enough to go into it. But I wanted to do something quite academic. And then I don't think I had it planned out, but I just knew I wanted to be successful. I knew I wanted to be big. And I liked things. I liked like trainers. I was like mad sneakerhead. I wanted things, but I just didn't know how to get it. But I knew I wanted to do it the right way. Like, I was never swayed. I was never a big fan of trying to take quick wins or taking risks for that. I knew I wanted to do something legitimate to make money and build a business, build longevity, loads of different things. I experimented loads of different things. At one point, I was like loan shark at one point. I'd lend money to people in sixth form.
To then get a return.
To get a return. Like, people would say, oh, I need to buy this. And I knew that 10% was a good return. So if someone needed £100, I'd be like, yeah, take £100, just give me £110 back in like 2 weeks and stuff like that. I would lend a lot of money. I would do loads of different
And that would
things.
work? Like, you would have that trust in the people that you're giving your money to?
Yeah, I would. And I'd always get more, because it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm getting paid next week, but I need to buy this week.
Yeah,
take it and just pay me back £110. And I was making loads of money doing that. I was doing that with so many things. And I used to think about it, all right, with the interest I'm going to get from this, that's £10. That's going to pay for my school lunch for 1 week. And then I add this on top of this. And if I do this 5 times, that's a pair of white Air Forces. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. So you've always been a hustler?
Yeah.
Always been a hustler. And at what point did the shift happen? Or I know it's always been there, but at what point were you like, okay, I want to do property?
I think the turning point, I knew I wanted to do property from young. I knew property was a rewarding career. I knew it was an industry or a profession, you could say, that gave you that there was big rewards to be made. And the turning point was probably in second year of uni when I read my first book.
Okay.
And then
what book was that?
Rob Dick's Property Investing for Beginners.
Okay.
I read that book, and that was like the light bulb moment. Like, okay, let me do this. Let me try and go all in and do this. But it's funny because that was the first book about something that I read that I can action out the steps.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if I picked up maybe a book about like Amazon FBA,
Yeah.
that could have been the light bulb moment.
Yeah.
But I just knew property was something I really wanted to go into because my friend, one of my first friends I made in secondary school, went to his house in like Purley, right?
Okay. Yeah. Expensive area.
Yeah, expensive
Yeah.
area. That's where I went to school. So I was like, I grew up in like Selhurst, like South Noyd, Croydon, right?
Yeah.
Then I go to Purley and
Paddy's. Yeah.
that complete opposite to what Selhurst is like. And then I've gone, well, what do your parents do? And he goes, yeah, my dad's a property developer. So I always knew at the back of my head, all right, this is the type of house I want to live in. These are the types of cars I want to drive. I need to be in property.
Yeah.
So I knew that. So when I did pick up the book, when I was looking to pick up a book, I was looking for a property book. And I read that, and that was just the light bulb moment. I enjoyed it. And that was the key thing. I was happy I enjoyed it because I knew if I didn't enjoy what I was reading, I wouldn't have taken action. But when I was reading it, everything just made sense. When I was thinking about mortgages, leveraging, interest, everything, just capital appreciation, it all just clicked.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Let me go in for this.
So the book was solely property related. It wasn't like a Rich Dad Poor Dad type of vibe.
No.
It was
Rich Dad Poor Dad. I did read that in first year of uni, and that was life-changing.
yeah, because that's the book that changed it for me.
Yeah.
That's what shifted me to think.
And it's mad because it sounds so cliche, but it
does.
definitely does work. I remember reading that in first year of uni, and it was like, okay, I need to do something. And I had a business idea before that, and then I started a sports events company at uni with one of my friends called Obed, who we started the sports business, and that like really, really kind of took off. We built a good community around it. We hosted tournaments all across Midlands, giving out cash prizes. Yeah, that was such a great time. Thinking back about it, that was probably one of like my happiest times, I swear, because it was so fulfilling. Everyone was so happy. You see on the day how everyone's so excited for these tournaments, cash prizes. We was able to get sponsors. I met one of my best friends in doing so. Like it was such a cool experience. So that was after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it was like, let's make something happen. So that book is life-changing.
Yeah, no, it's a very good book. Do you practice like mindfulness and all that stuff, meditation, visualization? Like, have you ever been someone that writes down their goal in the morning and the night, listens to the affirmations?
Yeah, you know what? I think I've been through that journey quite early on. I don't necessarily practice it as much now, but I've always said to people, I've been on this journey since I was like 19.
Well, you've been a hustler.
Yeah. And when I talk about self-development, from, let's say, 16, when I started going to the gym, I had a page with my friends, and we were training like for the army. So we had a very strict regime where we was going to the gym, writing down what our workouts would be, the weights, everything. And that sort of mindset followed me into my personal development, into my business and things like that. So from, let's say, first year of uni, after I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I started doing the whole waking up, writing down your goals, doing all that things. Yeah, manifestation, just thinking about it, going to places, trying to talk to people, network with people. I had been doing that for a very long period of my time, came out of uni throughout the whole of COVID. I think during COVID was probably my peak like personal development phase.
Yeah.
And then when I got into property and things started happening, I wouldn't say I lost focus, but it was more so less talk, more action. It was more so just, let me go out and do it now, right? I've written down enough goals, I've written down enough things, but when it's just people do a lot of that stuff, but
Don't take action.
No action. And since I've taken a lot of action, things started moving a lot quicker. It's only now where I'm starting to practice it a bit more here and there, but I exhausted all the personal development books.
I think as an entrepreneur, you have that phase
Yeah.
where you do it. It has to be done. You need to be in a certain mindset to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
As I mentioned with Deontay, there's a common theme on this pod. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur. I think
No.
everyone has the ability to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
but not everyone can be an entrepreneur. And I
Yeah,
think
100%.
that comes down to, what would you say, mindset?
No, I think it is. Well, mindset is just inability to take action. And I think you have got the ability to do it, but no one will take action. Everyone would say things and they just won't take action. And that was something I used to confuse me. But now I'm pretty much like, you know what? It is what it is. If you don't want to take action, I'm not going to force you to take action. But a lot of people like the idea of it. They like the idea of being a focused person. They like the idea of waking up, going to the gym, eating clean, writing down your goals, practicing personal development. They love the whole idea of it. They will repost it, like it, but they just won't do it. And that is literally the only difference between someone that becomes an entrepreneur, a successful one, and someone that doesn't. But we both got the ability. I make things happen. And that's something I pride myself of, like, I will make something happen. I won't just talk about it. I won't just write things. I won't just repost and share things on my story. I will go out and make it happen.
I think Dean Forbes says it. You just got to show up. It's about showing up.
Yeah, literally.
And if you show up every day when you don't feel like it,
literally,
that's all that matters. I think people are lazy, Ethan.
People are super, super lazy. Like, and it's funny because people will not call themselves lazy, right? And I always say to people, your habits follow you. So let's say for example, you don't like making your bed every day, right? You don't like making your bed because it's something that you don't want to do, but you know you have to do it. That mindset of not making your bed, you're like, oh yeah, but it's just my bed. I won't keep my room clean. It's just my room.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to your business, that same attitude of, oh yeah, it's just this bit thing, will follow you into the business and it will prevent you from reaching the next level, because I'm a strong believer of habits follow you around. If you start something, for example, you start a routine, you have a set of goals and you say to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times this week. If you give up on day 3, right? And you say you've convinced yourself, nah, but it's just the gym. Like you've given yourself an excuse. That same thought process of giving yourself excuses to not going to the gym is the same excuse you give to yourself within your business. But you think, oh, because I care about my business so much, no, this won't happen. No, that same mindset follows you. It will follow you in everything that you do. You will try something, you give up. You go into a relationship, it gets hard, you just give up. And I see it a lot with different people, like, oh, this is not just a one-off thing. This is a habit you have that you think is only in this area. But when we take a step back, it's across your whole life.
Yeah.
This is, you just give up on things. You thought that was an insignificant moment. However, looking back, you gave up on this, you gave up on that, you gave up on this, and you got nowhere. So if you want to get good at something or grow, I think you need to look at everything in a holistic view and try and apply the same principles across your whole life.
Something that I tell myself, mainly when I'm at the gym, really, like if I'm doing 10 reps but I know I can do more, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And literally what you just explained there, just because you think, oh, I'm at the gym, it's not my business, it will trickle down.
Exactly.
Your habits create your actions, which creates your results, regardless of whatever you're doing. What would you say is your biggest habit that you had, that you've changed, that has now helped you?
Ooh, that is a very good question.
Something that you used to really struggle with, like, did you used to procrastinate? Doesn't sound like you did. Sound like you were a real hustler, but is there something that you look back on as like, I'm so happy that I changed that habit?
I would definitely say it would be I had yes, I would say it was what would you call it? My reaction to certain things. I was always very defensive when I'm told I'm doing wrong. And that was something that I'd say it was a habit that I developed from home. If my mum's like telling me off, I've always got something back to say. Like I've always got something to say. And that habit, I could see it in even my first business. If I've made a decision and there's a different opinion, I'm so quick to defend my decision, or I'm so quick to defend my idea because I believe that this is the right way. Like this is my opinion, this is the correct opinion. And I'd say I'm definitely more open and I listen more to things. So if my mum was to tell me off now, I'll let her speak. I'll let her speak. I'll let her go on.
Yeah.
And I'll take accountability where accountability needs to be taken before I put forward my opinion to the situation. And I think if I didn't do that, I definitely wouldn't be where I am in property.
Yeah.
Now in property, if someone's ahead of me, if someone's older than me, if someone's wiser than me, I will listen to everything you have to say.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to defend the decisions I make. I'll take on board what you said. And then I will make my own decision based on the information you've given me.
Yeah.
And I see it with a lot of other people in the industry as well, to be fair. Even people that come in and they will do something, they have a strategy. And I look at that project, I was like, why did you do that? Or why do you think that they're so quick to defend their decision? And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll leave you to it.
Do you think that comes down to pride?
Yes. Pride. Yes, I guess it's pride. And I guess it's just the mindset of it's a fixed mindset of thinking that you're always right. You think that because you've learned something a certain way, that's how it's meant to be. Yeah, definitely maybe pride, ego, lack of maturity. Because that's something I was like as a teenager.
Yeah.
My mum tried to tell me something. I'm not listening. Like I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I am fighting my argument. I am arguing back strong. I'm firm on this is how I say I'm going to do it. This is how I say I'm going to live my life in this way. This is what I'm going to do. You're not changing my mind. And you see people, certain strategies, I'm like, maybe tweak it, maybe do this, maybe do that. They're like, no, I'm doing this because of this. I'm doing this because of that. I'm doing this because of this. All right, cool.
I think they attach their feeling too much to it. They attach their feeling to an outcome.
That's actually a really good point.
Because when you're invested in something and prime example, property.
Yeah.
They say, what's the saying? Don't invest with your feelings. Invest with numbers, something along those lines.
Don't be emotionally attached to deals. Yeah.
It's the same thing with an outcome or a habit.
Exactly. No, you're right.
If someone's above you, I will always respect what they have to say.
Exactly.
Evans actually said this on the podcast. He was like, that's the person being ignorant.
Yeah.
Because if someone gives you a blueprint or tells you something and they're above you and they're saying do X, Y, and Z, and you're not listening to them, that's you being ignorant.
Yeah.
Which is a form of immaturity.
Yeah.
It's a form of pride. If you just step away, take your emotions out of it, hear what the other person has to say.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's definitely an emotion-led, making decisions based on your emotions. That is definitely the thing. Emotions, not facts, not for what it actually is. It's just heightened emotions. You're so emotionally attached to this design. If I'm giving my opinion on the design, you're going to defend design because you become emotionally attached to it. When really and truly, it's not the best design. It's not the best configuration, and it's not going to get you the best results.
And do you experience suffer with that when dealing with all your stakeholders?
No, I don't. No, I don't personally. I think my stakeholders are great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very open to different opinions because I will kick myself in the face if something doesn't go to plan and someone turns around and say, I told you so. That is like my worst feeling. It was like, oh, why didn't I just listen to that person?
Yeah.
Unless I'm super sure, unless I had a gut feeling and I decided not to go for it because of my gut feeling, that's fine. But if it was mainly just me just not taking in consideration what they said, yeah, that will burn me. That will hurt more than anything. Someone being able to turn around and say, oh, I told you.
Yeah, I told you so.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a point in your journey where you've experienced something and thought, nah, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there has been, but I've not gone through with it. There has been moments where it's like, oh, this is long. I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. I have it all the time. But not to say I'm going to stop. I will stop within reason. I think also it's a good skill to have to know when to stop.
Yeah.
I don't think I've reached this stage where I have to stop because this is just not working out and there's more bad than good coming out of a situation. Because sometimes it's like, you're doing more damage here, just stop and maybe pack it in now before it gets worse. And I think in property especially, you kind of need to know when to do that as well, because there's a lot at stake, isn't it? There's big risks. So if you are going through something, if you are going through a deal and it's proven a lot more challenging than it is, sometimes it's better to just take the sunken costs, which may be your solicitor fees, broker fees, or any reservation fees, than to go through the whole project and take a massive hit on the back end. It's like, right, just stop here.
Yeah.
And you've learned something. You now have been able to identify a new problem, which you won't have to pay the cost in the future. Like, you just call it a day, say, yeah, this is the cost of my lessons today. I just paid £2,000 for a course to tell me not to buy this type of properties the hard way. Sort of thing.
Have you had a lot of mentors?
Yes, I have.
Not in property specific situations, but have you had like life mentors and stuff? Or
yes, so I would say growing up, I didn't have many mentors or mentor figures in my life that I could have open conversations who I aspired to be like, right? And I recognized that quite early on. So when I got to first year of uni, I remember being on LinkedIn and just messaging. I wanted to be in like consultancy space at the time, and I would just reach out to so many different people. And it's funny because there's people in the property industry that when I look at DMs now, if I scroll all the way to the top, it's me in uni as a uni student just reaching out, trying to get some sort of mentorship, or just random people on LinkedIn within the corporate space that I tried to get mentorship off. And then there was someone, even big shout out to Alston Owens. I would say he was my first formal mentor whilst I was at uni, not in the property industry. He was just in a corporate space. And I connected with LinkedIn, told him my story, met up with him in Birmingham a few times. And I just looked up to him. It was just a role model I had. He was a young black father figure, had kids, married, was a Christian. And I just looked at him, and I used to have loads of open and honest conversations. And he understood where I was coming from. He grew up in Birmingham. He loved music. He loved fitness. And we can just always just talk. And that was very important for me to have at the time, because it always gave me a different perspective to life. And I used to always think about what life looks like after all of this is done. After uni's done, what does life look like? So I used to always look for mentors ahead of me. I've got quite a few in my life, to be fair, I would say now.
And what would you say is the biggest like sort of lesson that you've taken from a mentor? Something that they've said to you and you thought, shit, that's really stuck with me.
I think what initially comes to mind is you can't pour from an empty glass. That was like one of my first mentors. He told me that, and that stuck with me for a long time, because when I started moving forward in life, and my whole aim was at the beginning was I just want to give back as much as possible, which I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I think I was doing that from a point of, because I had my own tuition business. I loved helping people. I loved teaching people. But then I was doing it at the detriment of my own growth, where I'm spending so much time trying to help someone else, where I should be spending time maybe training or learning a new skill. But with the limited skills I have now, I'm trying to help someone else. And then he was like, you can't pour from an empty glass. Like, you need to also be going out, expose yourself to new things so that you can help more people and teach more people things.
Would you say value is part of that cup? Like adding value?
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Because it's fulfilling to be able to add value to people's lives and add value to yourself so that you can add value to others more effectively. So yeah, that's been one of my biggest lessons. And now I feel like I'm even more in a position to give back and help other people. It's just finding the balance, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
Because you don't want to just be chasing a goal and not give back and forget that your whole thing was to give back and your whole thing was to support other people, support your family.
Yeah.
You just need to kind of stay grounded and be like, this is the goal. I'm doing this to help you, sort of thing.
Yeah. And I think that also leads to my next question about accountability.
Yeah.
And how I believe as individuals, we need to ask ourselves these two questions regularly. One being, what is Ethan doing really well that's making him be a good entrepreneur, good friend, whatever? And what's one thing that Ethan needs to work on to be that better friend, to be that better entrepreneur? Like, starting off with the negative, what is not necessarily negative, but what's one thing that you need to work on that will help you be a better person, better entrepreneur? Could be a habit that you need to work on. Doesn't necessarily have to be related to business. It could be something in your personal life, reaching out to friends. Like, what would that one thing be?
I think that's
Reach out to friends.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that.
That's been my one thing, but I've been so, what would you say? I've been so, for the word I'm looking for is like, I've been so motivated to do that. I've been so like, every opportunity I have, if a friend comes into my mind and I think about that friend, instead of just thinking about them, letting the time go past, and it's just like, then you see them next, I was thinking about you.
Yeah, message them.
Message them. As soon as that person's name comes into my head, I'm messaging them. I'm just picking up the phone, giving them a call. If they don't answer, I'm just sending a message, hey bro, just checking in, hoping you're all good. Have a great week. That's it. Or just be like, hey sis, like that's it. That was one thing that I took my eye off the ball. It's just making sure you are constantly solidifying your relationships with your people, which I thought I did just by the energy I'd always give them when I see them, because I want them to know how much I love my friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's important for them to also hear it in words, see you taking more action to maybe go above and beyond for them. Like, even for example, the reason why I said I was tired, because I went to one of my friends last night, and it was spontaneous. They live quite far from myself, but it was the opportunity to go. The opportunity was there. Instead of, I didn't want to be the person to say no, because they come to me all the time when I ask them to. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go, because I do want to see you. I do miss our time together. So let me just go and see how you're doing.
Do you feel like relationships are energy, like the energy that you put in is the energy that you get back? So if I message you, I should expect you to message me back, or are you messaging regardless of whether they don't check in on you?
I think it's nice for it to be a two-way thing. It depends on the type of friend you are, though.
Yeah.
I'm a low-maintenance friend. I am so low maintenance. Don't message me, but if I see you in 6 months' time, it is still all love.
Yeah.
Life happens, life gets in the way.
Yeah, we're adults.
I understand that, but you just need to understand who your friends are. Because I've got friends that I don't need to do that to, but then I've got friends that I dare not do that to. Do you get what I mean? I dare not message you for 3 months and try and walk into your life like everything's okay.
Yeah.
They look at me like, you haven't, like,
You haven't checked in.
You haven't checked in. X, Y, and Z happened. This person's this has happened. This has happened. This has happened, and then you feel super guilty, and it's like, no, like I've just been super busy.
Super busy. Yeah.
So it just know who your friends are. But me, I'm low maintenance.
Yeah.
If I even message you and you don't reply, I feel no type of way about it.
Yeah. It's a good way to go about it. What's one thing that you're doing really well?
One thing I am doing really well is probably more reflection. I think I'm reflecting a lot more on my life and my future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when sometimes I think I'm reflecting more in the present, how I feel in the present moment. When you're growing and you're doing so many things and you want to achieve so many big things, you're always thinking ahead. I think I'm being more present in understanding, am I really happy right now?
Yeah.
Is this really fulfilling? Do I want to change something? Because life moves so fast and I don't want to look back in 5 years' time and say, yeah, I did all of that, but the whole time I was doing it, I was just mad stressed and like I didn't even enjoy myself. I'm trying to now very much find a good balance. I know everyone says there's no work-life balance, which I agree. However, I think you can do things moderately and live your life moderately in a sense where you can have really good times that still create the memories that you can look back on and say, yeah, I was stressful during that period, but I was able to do X, Y, and Z, created so-and-so memories, went, saw these people, met this person, X, Y, Z during that whole time. So I think I'm being more reflective.
And do you journal?
Yes, I started
journaling
this year.
Yeah.
This year I started taking it more seriously with the app. I didn't even know Apple had an app, like a journal app. So I've been using that a lot. Just writing things down, writing what makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy, what I like, what I don't like in that moment to understand how I feel. Because sometimes you'll be in a weird mood and you don't know why you're in that weird mood.
Yeah.
Or you're not as happy as you are and you think, okay, what am I doing now? What am I not doing that I was doing back then when I said I was so-called happy?
Yeah.
What are the things I was doing outside of my business that were making me happy? And it could be little things like, for me, the other day, I realized I used to love like buying sneakers. Like I was heavily into like fashion and like what was going on. But now in my business, I don't pay attention to that stuff as much. But maybe I should look at fashion a bit more, like what new things can I look at that used to give me that bit of dopamine outside of making money in a deal, outside of that rent coming in, outside of the refinance, outside of finding a new deal. What other boost of dopamine can I get? Because you can't live and die by your business. Well, you can, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah. You're not a robot at the end of the day. And I think when people get so stuck in their business, they lose track of what they like to do or their habits. Like for me, I'm very heavily into perfumes. Yeah. And that's what makes me happy. Buying new perfumes, smelling new perfumes. So I would definitely say get back into that fashion, man.
Yeah. And like, I did do that. So when I had the reflection on Monday, I went into London and I just did window shopping. And I was just going in, taking everything in. Just so, I really like those shoes. This is what I'm going to buy next. And this is what I'm going to do this. Yeah. And so and so. Just thinking about like consistently playing sports. Like David Lloyd got rid of the badminton court. Don't know why they did that. I don't know. Super annoyed. But things like that make me really happy, and just making sure, going through the effort of, you know what, they've taken away their court, but let me find the closest court near me where I can just go and play it, because I know that period of my life I was really happy. But what was I doing? I always had badminton that I can go and play after a long day of stress, you know.
Who's had a significant impact on your life and why? Who's had the most significant impact on your life and why? Could be multiple people.
The most significant impact in my life.
And why, yeah.
I've never said this before. I'd probably say my mum.
Yeah.
I'd probably say this. We haven't always got on. Like our relationship is probably the rockiest relationship ever. But I think now more than ever, I think the impact comes from realizing the sacrifices she's made
Yes.
and the support the unconditional support she gives me today. Getting older, as I'm getting older, I'm not getting older, but as I'm understanding life and the challenges that life throws at you, I understand, okay, you've actually sacrificed a lot. You literally moved across the world to start a new life, and you would have been impacted by all these challenges to get me across here. And now, whatever I do, she says yes. Like,
Yeah.
I could tell my mom any new business idea, and she'll be like, "Yeah, let's back it. I'm backing it."
That's what you need.
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, no, definitely one of the biggest significant impacts on my life. Other than that, I would say, I wouldn't say. I'd say there's one. I don't know who else I would say.
I mean, a lot of guests say their mums.
Yeah.
They're the backbone, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because that's never ever been my
No.
answer.
No.
I don't think I've recognized that for like my
Yeah.
whole until probably this year.
Yeah.
Like I would never have said that. I would never have said that because, as I said, we've not had the best relationship growing up because of so many other reasons. But understanding a role a parent actually plays in a child's development, you don't understand until you get older and you realize, oh, right, you actually do support me,
and you'll probably understand it even more when you have kids.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and it will help me more to understand them. But I think the difference is I'll be in a position where my kids will be able to recognize that a lot earlier in their life.
Yeah.
Just by the position that they will be in. It'll be a lot different to how I grew up. So I'll be able to have certain conversations with them where they'll be able to understand that.
Yeah, no, I love that. Last question for you, Ethan, is obviously the podcast is called The Endless Race. I believe we're all running this endless race called life. There's endless successes, endless failures, endless wins. There's always someone above you. There's always someone below you, no matter what point you are on your journey. You're always chasing someone, but someone is always chasing you. When you hear the term, the Endless Race podcast, how do you interpret that in relation to like life?
I would say, that's an amazing question.
Deep one, right?
Yeah, I would definitely say when I'm thinking about the endless race, it would be the endless race to learning about yourself. I think you can never learn too much about yourself. Every day you learn something new about yourself, and that is what I'm realizing as time goes on. There's something new that I'm interested in. There's different perspectives. There's things that I'm exploring that I realize, oh, I really enjoyed this. Different things that I find fulfilling, different purposes. Like you're always trying to find a new purpose, trying to find something that fills you. Just constantly learning about yourself. So when I think about the endless race, it's endless race to learning and understanding yourself. Does that sound deep?
Yeah, no, I love that explanation.
I hope it sounds a bit deep for the clips.
Like there's not a glass ceiling.
Yeah.
You're changing every day.
Yeah. Literally every single day.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't the same person I was on Monday because of something I listened to on the news. Now all of a sudden I've got a whole different opinion on this.
I love that perspective. It's a really nice one. Ethan, I guess that's the end. Where can they find you if they want to reach out to you?
They can find me on Ethan X Hammond on Instagram and Ethan Hammond on YouTube, because that's probably where I'm most active on YouTube.
Perfect. Ethan, it's been a pleasure. Guys, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.